Okay, so welcome to part 2. This is the Tower of Power episode section of hopefully a multi-part series. Now we're breaking down the Pints and Amiga live stream kind of equipment setup. I've got my long little pokey here, mic arm, that I'm going to point out some things with. So let's get started. Down here on the bottom, this is a Behringer Xenon 1002B, simple little audio mixer there. Nothing too fancy. I think it's 5 mono channel and 4 stereo channel, but it's shared. So we usually keep this is our CD aux from our 4000 CD-ROM setup, which I'll show you that when I break down the 4000D. This is our master game input from all of the machines. And then we have, of course, all of our 4 mic inputs here. My dad here, me, and then guests, and a spare one. So that's kind of brief overall. Main volume here, of course. And all of our 1/4" output, 1/4" inputs, RCA input for the CD-ROM, all of that good jazz. Over here is the USB switch box we use to switch the keyboard input for the Amigas that have keyboard adapters. So we use USB sum adapters for our 4000 and our 600 and our 1200, so that will switch using only one wireless keyboard. Oops. Down here along the bottom right here with these nice little red dots here, this is our 8-way HDMI split box. So that helps split out all of our signal and everything to go to our various outputs and everything. We're only currently using 2. Our master HDMI scaler here, kind of the master lock. We have our VGA input here with switch box. This is for She-Hulk, aka our Amiga 600, and our Dreamcast. You can see the labeling there. So because our master scaler has VGA, 2 HDMI, component, composite, all of that good stuff, it's a relatively cheaper scaler that we found on eBay a couple years back, so we've had it for a long time. I don't even remember the model of it anymore. These 2 switch boxes are for our port 1 and port 2 on the controller / mouse ports for all of the Amigas. So we have the 4000, the Vampire 500, She-Hulk, and then soon to be the NCC 1200. That's our Amiga 1200. So these are straight through serial switch boxes for switching between like your serial printer or other serial devices usually used for PCs, but they're straight through. Then we hook up all of the Amiga mouse ports and game ports using straight through serial cable like this. So, and because this one, the switch box that we have is male out, we use these female to female, just straight through. That's the key though. If you want to do this on your own, this has to be straight through serial. No modem or anything, or you'll fry your ports. So I want to thank JC, Peter on Facebook, for giving me this idea and letting me know that this would work and convincing me to try it out. And sure enough, it works. So it is a godsend in terms of having one joystick, one mouse, or anything, and switching between all these different machines without having to unplug a bunch of stuff. Over here back onto the right is our other two scalers. So these two this one is for the MSX, and this one is for the Amiga 500's native output. These are just simple little $30 to $40 US scalers from Amazon. They do a wonderful job in general. They have audio output, several switching capabilities. They have Scart in the back as well as HDMI in the back. Up here is our HDMI switch box. So everything has its own input. The 4000 has a direct HDMI input because it has an RTG card in it, which I'll explain on our 4000D video. All of the inputs eventually get converted either to VGA down here or HDMI up here, and you either switch between here or there, and everything eventually passes through this master scaler. Up here, which I'm going to raise the little monopod here so you can see. This is our RCA switch box. So it's a 5-port switch box. Has all RCA in and then one out. So there's the 4000, 500, 600, 1200 Dreamcast and MSX share because they use a piggyback connection. And that all feeds down, comes out. We'll wrap around the back here. So it comes out, down, and comes into our DI box there. This is a Radial Trim 2 DI box. It's a Pro Audio DI box. Very nice. It has a level knob there, multiple inputs and outputs there. They're tandem. Comes out, hits the XLR output, goes right here into our game channel there, and then the master feeds out and goes over to our capture and goes into the audio interface. Let's go back around in the back here. Set that down. So this spaghetti's western of a mess. It's actually not that complicated. We come out of our master scaler here, and it has all of our some go directly input, like the 4000 and the component input from the Dreamcast, and then that comes out, goes down here to our master splitter. One signal goes down and goes over to the capture machine. The other one comes down and hits a final kind of master sync scaler. This one goes over and up to the TV. And the only reason why we have this one in tandem and it's separate, only feeding the TV, is because our nice fancy 4K TV and this one get a little mad about certain syncs and everything in resolutions. So this one kind of keeps everything matched and uniform to a signal that the TV likes. So, and then of course, like I said from the front, our RCA switch box. We got all of the RCAs coming in from all the different machines. That includes the Dreamcast, the MSX's audio, because it comes over the RGB output from the MSX. It feeds its audio over it. So we pull it from here and go into the RCA. And of course, master, back down to here. There's the VGA switch box. So we have the output over on the far left there, A and B, which are She-Hulk and Dreamcast accordingly, with 2 extras for any additional additions. Our 5-port HDMI switcher with all of our labels on it. 1 free spot back over here. So, and then of course, around back here is our port 1 and port 2 serial switching that's happening for the joystick and mouse. So we'll show that for a second. That's the custom one for the 600. Give you an overview there. This is a spare that's not, well, that came unhooked, but it usually goes right there on the output. So yeah, there you go. That's kind of the in-depth rundown of everything. Just a quick recap again. Everything comes in, gets converted to either HDMI or VGA through either scaling or internal solutions on the machines themselves. Comes into the HDMI switcher. That comes down, hits the master scaler, goes into the switch box down here, splits off and goes to the capture machine over to the left, and up then to the TV, or well, down to the scaler down there, which you can't really see from here, and up to the TV. And that's basically it. And then the audio is pretty straightforward. Everything comes in from the switch box, into the DI, into the mixer, out to capture. So, there you go. There's kind of the mystery of the Tower of Power solved. I hope that was informative. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. And look forward to the next part. Thank you.